Yoski, it's Gunky Z. What? No, I'm just kidding. But here's the setup from today. I'm gonna get down into the deep details. You guys know I trade the full circle strategy. My main concepts are PO3s, 4-hour candle CRT. So just for like a quick little visual, here's like the bigger PO3. As you can see, we got this manipulation up here. Here's the proof from today. So we actually caught over 100 points again. We're on like over a 3-week win streak. All recaps and proofs are on my previous video, so you guys check those out if you want to see. But here's the proof from today. As you can see, we got a 697 entry on this, about 1,600 bucks in profit. But we ended up getting stopped out in profit for a little over 100 points in this. So caught over 100 points on the Nasdaq again. It ended up hitting this bottom draw on liquidity for sure, because that's what our TP was. Well, that's not why I hit it, but it hit this draw on liquidity. But it had some retracements first after taking out some internal lows. But I wanted to manage this up over already 100 points on that, so I didn't want to let it possibly reverse all the way back. So moved up to profits, a little over 100 points secured whenever I did get stopped out in profit. Like I said, ended up hitting that draw. But let's get into the trade, man. Over $1,000 today, so awesome day. And there's actually 2 trades from the live. So in the live, we actually signaled a long. I know a few people made some good money off that one. A lot of people got broke even stops on it though, because it hit the first internal. I'll quickly go over that one as well. But this was the big trade, over 100 points, $1,000 on the day. So let's get into the recap. Let me clear my charts real quick. So going into, this was an Asia/London session trade. No trades in New York for me today. I didn't like any of the setups. Didn't see anything. But if you guys were in the TikTok live, you guys saw this Asia and London kind of breakdown. So basically, this is what we had here. We had this big accumulation range from New York session. So this was the day before. I also didn't trade New York session the day before. This was New York session action whenever I was trading New York that day. This is literally like basically the whole session of New York. Formed a huge accumulation range. What did we have going into Asia session? We had this. I'm actually gonna go into replay mode so that you guys like can kind of see this a little better. But going into Asia session, right, we had, so this was like 7 p.m. So this literally Asia session kill zone started right now. We had this big accumulation range. So that's honestly perfect. What else did we have? We had an hourly bearish fair value gap right above price. So we had this big higher time frame POI, hourly bearish gap above price there. So let's mark that out. Also, what else did I have marked? I had marked, if you guys were live, you saw the golden zone. So from swing high to swing low, I took my fib retracement tool and found the golden pocket. So what did I do? I marked out this golden pocket, because like I said, there's this huge higher time frame accumulation right here. Want to see a possible PO3 into that area. So just always want to have your possible areas to either side, and then let the market tell you what it wants to do. You never want to try to predict the top, predict the bottom, or at least with my strategy, I don't like to do that. I like to make sure and let the market tell us what it wants, and then you're going to be able to find multiple different PO3 entries back into that trade. But yeah, let's delete this. We had the golden zone up here, so that was a possible manipulation of this accumulation zone into that area. We had the hourly bearish gap along with golden zone retracement. That was a possible area. And then the possible bullish area, which also, as you guys saw from the screenshot, as you guys saw, but this bottom area was like a low. This bottom TP was literally the low of this LRL liquidity. So we had a low that didn't take out this low, and a low that didn't take out this low. This is LRL, like trend line liquidity, whatever you want to call it. It's just basically like this, trend line liquidity. You usually like to see price usually dumps through that. So what do we have below? We had a daily. Oh, see, the daily just did that. But like I said, this is after today. This is the daily fair value gap below the accumulation range. So boom, like I said, we have LRL into a daily gap, and we have an hourly gap with golden zone retracement. We have our two areas, and what's so clean about this is that, as you guys see, huge accumulation range in between 2 major key zones. So the best part about this, we don't need a strict daily bias. We don't need a strict, well, a draw on liquidity, but we don't need like a daily bias like, oh, I'm only taking longs today, I'm only taking shorts today. We had our areas to either side. So what did that look like? It looked something like this. We're like, okay, we have this big accumulation. We want to see it manipulate the accumulation into this area, or we want to see it manipulate down into this area. And from there, we can start to wait for our entry model, which is, I have a video on my mechanical entry model. It's on my YouTube. Just go back some videos. You'll see my full circle strategy mechanical entry model. Just wait for that in these areas, man. That's all you got to do. So we had this possibility panned out. As you can see, Asia session kill zone open. Instant rip into that golden zone retracement and started to slow down. Now this is where I want to show you guys. We didn't just instantly enter a short here because we want to wait for that entry model. We want to wait for a repo 3, or we want to wait for these huge imbalances that got created. We want to see them get inversed to confirm that this is ready to reverse off the area. And that brings us to the quick long. So we actually caught a long before this big short that was over 100 points. We caught a long setup that I caught out on live. Went about 50 points, I think. But I'll break that one down real quick, guys, real quick. like I said, so we got to keep in mind this was the possible area for a higher time frame huge dump, which as you guys saw earlier ended up happening, and as you guys can see here ended up happening. But until like before that 9 a.m. 4-hour candle or the 9 p.m. 4-hour candle opened, because I showed the new 4-hour candle opens, you guys will see what happened. We had this big 15-minute gap, also these 5-minute gaps. So in order for me to flip bearish, I wanted to see price close below these to show that they're disrespecting bullish PD rays. But what did they do? They formed a reaccumulation. There's a 5-minute gap. This is what we need to inverse to go short. So they formed a reaccumulation. So let's play out a few candles. A reaccumulation right here. So price accumulated after getting above, and then what happened? We manipulated new 4-hour candle open. We manipulated down into this 5-minute gap. Didn't close below the CE of it on the 15-minute, and price got the 5-minute CISD. So this is like an internal PO3 inside of the higher time frame narrative. So this was just like I made sure it was known. This was like a quick play, not a possibility of a bigger play. But look, we got a reaccumulation after we got that what was supposed to be the manipulation, which like you guys already seen ends up being the manipulation. But this was a quick little PO3 inside of a PO3. It's the same sort of draw on liquidity. All this LRL trendline liquidity. All it is, high. We form another swing high that doesn't take out that high. Another swing high that doesn't take out that high. It's trendline liquidity. You usually see your price like go through this fast. So we got the 5-minute CISD. We got the little PO3 into this 5-minute imbalance after getting the displacement through the accumulation. So what do? We saw the 5-minute CISD. It closed way above. So I didn't signal this long. I said, guys, just be patient. We'll wait for a quick retest into this 5-minute bullish gap, and then we'll look for a quick 1-minute entry model inside of that gap. So let's play out a few more candles. You see price reaccumulated again, then went into the 5-minute, formed an initial structure. We got a failure swing at that low, and then boom on this candle right here, 1 minute. Oh, maybe it was the next one. Next one. There it is. Yeah, so we got the 1-minute CISD inside that 5-minute. This was the long that I called out inside of Asia session before the big $1,000 short. A lot of people got break even on this one. So we had stops at this low, about an 11-point stop, and our initial TP was at these internal highs. Our max TP was through all this LRL into the top of that golden zone to resweep that high. And as you guys will end up seeing, what happened? Price pretty much instantly went into profits and took out this internal high right there. So price took out this internal high from here. I was like, guys, in the live I made it clear. Move your stops to break even. Sadly, we have to. The higher time frame's screaming bearish. We need to manage this trade. So a lot of people got stop break even on this because as you'll see, we hit that first TP, move stops to break even. Price went and came back and hit everyone out, break even right there. Now, obviously, there's an argument that you should never move stops break even. In my opinion, it's very situational. Like in this case, the higher time frame was screaming bearish. There's a reason I made over $1,000 on a bearish trade. So for this one, I just wanted to be risk free. I don't want to put risk on the table, so I moved to break even. So I got break even on this one as well. But as you see, with that original LRL liquidity target, this one ended up playing out and hitting full TP without ever hitting the original stop loss. So overall, great technicals, great analysis on that call out. Great trade. Ended up hitting all the way up to those LRL, the LRL TP way up there. It took a while, another retracement there, but as you guys will see in a second here, yep, it comes and smacks that TP up there. So absolutely great trade, and that's when London session starts. So that great long right there. The people that held it. They made some good money. A few people sent profits in the Discord that they held the full thing with the original stop loss. So great technicals on that initial trade. But let's get into the big trade that made me over $1,000. That one I unfortunately got break even on, but great little internal PO3 up into these LRL highs. And then what happened? Same thing. So guys, let's get rid of some of this stuff, right? Let's get rid of this internal PO3. You guys just saw the quick breakdown of the long. Now I want to show you guys. It's the same scenario, guys. So from the initial breakdown that you guys saw, we have this huge accumulation range from New York session. We have this fast manipulation, form all these gaps into a golden zone retracement and an hourly gap. What happens here? We sweep all that LRL liquidity that I told you guys about. I showed you guys. So this high right here, we swept the LRL, took out the final LRL, we swept it right there. At this point, I was like, okay, if they want to hold this golden zone, then this is the beautiful short entry for the higher time frame PO3. PO3s are fractal; they happen on all time frames. So, but like the bigger ones like this, you guys can catch major tops, major bottoms in the market, which as you see, we ended up doing, catching over 100 points on NQ. So still playing this, all I wanted at this point, after re-sweeping the LRL into that golden zone and holding the golden zone again, all I wanted to see was a 5-minute CISD. So like, it wasn't much of a lower time frame technical entry model. I'll go over in a second. There actually was a little 1-minute PO3 for this new London candle as well to that high, but I just took the 5-minute CISD, guys. 5 minutes shifted back below structure after resweeping LRL into that golden zone in the hourly. With the higher time frame PO3 narrative, our drawn liquidity was all that LRL in the daily, which, like I showed you, ended up getting hit. Not before stopping me out in profit for over 100 points, but ended up hitting. So we got that 5-minute CISD. Guys, I just went ahead and took this entry. You know why? It lined up like I just said. Went ahead, took the 5-minute CISD, closed below there. The main reason I took this, because stops above that swing high are only 20 points. I love a 20-point stop loss. I do it all the time with my 5 micro trades. Stops above that would have only been 20 points of the CISD, so that's exactly why I took the CISD. Obviously, the main target was, what was it? I'll show you guys here. The main target was 454. It was around the daily LRL. So 454, it would have been about or not would have been, because it did. It was a 250 point trade, a 12 RR trade. Ended up actually playing out, as you guys will see in a second. So I'll show you guys that. But I want to jump down to the 1 minute time frame just real quick, guys, because a lot of people ask, well, was there even like a clean PO3? First of all, it was the higher time frame PO3, so bigger narrative. But yes, there was a little 1 minute PO3 as well. I was stuck on the 5 minute time frame, making sure that this was confirmed, so I didn't even see this. But there was a little 1 minute PO3 here. We had this little accumulation range, so green box here. This new 1 a.m. candle opened literally right here. So 1 a.m. candle open, new 4-hour candle, price accumulated, manipulate, reswept that high once again, forming a manipulation, and then got the 1 minute CISD, 1 minute IFG, or even you could take the same 5 minute CISD that I did. But yeah, we had a lower time frame PO3 as well. So pretty much everything stacked up. This was a great setup. Hence why it went over 100 points and ended up going over 250 points and ended up going over 500 points total, I believe, because we kept dumping after that main TP got hit. But yeah, man, that was the beautiful trade. Like I said, guys, I took that 5 minute CISD, protected by that high. We also, as you see after a few candles, first of all, great initial displacement. Hit all these major lows here. Formed a 5 minute order block, so my stop was still protected. So on a trade like this that has more higher time frame narrative, I didn't instantly just move my stops to break even like the long. Because the long, you got to realize, our higher time frame narrative was, guys, this could still be very bearish. So that's the reason I wanted to move my stops up to break even fast. With this one, if you guys were live, I never moved my stops to break even. We had this 5 minute order block, which is the last up candle before this impulsive down move. 5 minute order block was right here. The CE of it was above my break even stop. So I wanted to be protected by this and protected by that high. So I kept my stops where they were until we hit this major swing low. This major swing low, yes, you have to start to be careful. So that's when I started to move my stops up. So as you guys can see, great initial displacement we had. Price started to slow down, and then, as you see, absolutely ripped through everything. So you guys can see that 5 minute CSD 697 right up here at the top. That's around where I got in. You guys can see, yeah. So $1,600 around when we were up in this area. Move my stops way up. You know why? Let me show you why. That LRL liquidity on the daily time frame lined up with this. Let me go to the 15 minute time frame. Yeah, so there was this swing low right here. We had this major swing low right here. And let me tell you why I moved my stops up to 100 points in profit, which is why I ended up getting stop out about $1,000 in profit. Let me tell you why I moved it up right here. Because this ended up playing out to our full TP, but here's why I don't want to have that risk on the table, and you got to make sure you're managing your trades. Because look at this, guys. All this LRL trendline liquidity right here, that swing low that I have marked out lines up with us possibly holding the LRL and bouncing it again. So what do I want to do at that LRL? I want to make sure I'm managed, make sure I secure my profits. I'm already up well over what? Like 150 points. So I move my stops to 100 points in profit at that swing low because of the possibility that we don't take out this LRL and that we hold the trend line and bounce back up. So I move my stops up aggressively whenever we hit this swing low right there because it lined up with the higher time frame LRL, with the full targets being us taking out all the LRL into the daily gap, which, as you guys know from me just telling you guys, ended up happening. So let's continue to play out this trade. As you see, we smacked that, and that's where I moved my stops up 100 points in profit. Finally moved my stops up, secured the trade. As you guys will see, yeah, we got a little retracement, so I'm pretty sure this is the big retracement off that low that I was talking about. Like I said, there's a reason that I had that low marked. It was the LRL. I wanted to manage my trade, so I moved my stops up, ended up getting stopped out right here for $1,000 in profit, as you guys have seen multiple times. Price bounced off that low, hit my stop $1,000 in profit. But obviously, bigger time frame, there was a bunch of imbalances here, gaps on the retracement off that low. So a quick bounce off that low, and then you'll see price absolutely plummeted to that max TP, and then even way more. We had the retracement in the New York session, just huge dump, guys. Like I said, there was a reason why this higher time frame PO3 into this area was there's a reason why we moved stop so quick on the longs, because the higher time frame narrative was that this could be a very significant PO3 in the market. Like I said, PO3s, I find them on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 50 minute, whatever it is. But yeah, we're really deep into this video, guys. I know this made, hopefully this made a lot of sense. Yeah, this went over 700 points. 700 points with a 34 risk to reward is how much ended up going fully from that top PO3. So this is what I'm telling you guys. I teach my strategy every day on YouTube and IG. I live stream my trades every single day on my Discord. New York session is my main session. I live stream every single morning in my Discord. So if you guys aren't yet in the free Discord, make sure you click on the link in the description to join my free Discord, and then type in the public chat from YouTube. If you type from YouTube, I let everyone in from YouTube, from live. You'll see those. If you type from YouTube, I'll let you guys in the free premium. I'll give you your free roll, and that's where we trade New York session every single morning on the Discord. I'm also live on TikTok every night for Asia and London session. If you guys can only trade New York or Asia and London, then just pop into the TikTok lives as well. All my links are in my bios and my social medias, guys. Yeah, just absolutely beautiful trade. Over 700 points. Like I said, I got stop time profit for over 100 points. $1,000 bucks. But yeah, this was the major TP here in the daily imbalance. But like I said, New York session, they didn't even hold this daily imbalance. They ended up keep ripping through it, which is absolutely crazy. I'm interested to see what the market does from here after closing above or below so many key areas. But yeah, that was the main TP in this area. We ended up absolutely smacking it. But great trade, over $1,000 bucks. The win streak continues. Like I said, we're going on about a 3-week win streak. All proof and recaps and explanations are all over my YouTube channel. So just click off this video now that it's done, pretty much, and go watch all the other recaps. It breaks down exactly how I entered the trade, exactly what I was looking for, my mindset, everything like that, and my proof. And then also, if you keep scrolling on my YouTube, I have my full circle strategy, which is what I call my strategy. I have the mechanical entry model. I teach the strategy, and then like I said, make sure you guys are commenting from YouTube in my free Discord public chat, and I'll let you guys in the free premium. That's where we trade New York session every single morning. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube for more recaps, breakdowns, education, things like that on my strategy and my trading. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully this all made sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.